What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 20, and we start today's episode where we left off in the last one, taking a look at our transfer budget for Season 2, which of course, as we know, after the sales of quite a few players, is about £22 million now, so still not a lot of money to work with in Season 2. And I also want to say real briefly to start the episode off as well, as this is Saturday morning for you guys. If you would like to see another episode of Career Mode later on today, featuring some more transfer business and some more signings as well, then get this video to 1,000 likes, and I'll upload another episode later on this evening after the football. So there's your challenge, 1,000 likes, and we'll have a double upload day of Career Mode today. But still heading into the transfer shortlist to begin today's episode off as well, and my primary target for a new signing with Sheffield United after the two free agents we picked up in the last episode was a new centre-back. We've only now got 4 centre-halves at this club after the sale of Brian, and also after seeing Jagielka leave on a free transfer to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Those are Basham, Egan, McKenna and O'Connell as well. And of course, we play with 3 centre-halves, so we were going to need a new centre-back to this team. And looking down the list, quite a lot of players that were there. We had Tyrone Mings, Joe Worrell. Johnny Evans was the guy that I really wanted to sign, but I wasn't sure about the realism aspect of that. Still a key member of Leicester City side, and of course, last year finishing the top pass. I thought I'd leave Evans where he is right now at the King Power, even though he's the one I really wanted. And I decided to go for this guy, Ben Godfrey, of course, part of the Norwich side who last year got relegated down to the Championship, so I thought it was probably the most realistic out of all the signings. We agreed to deal with Norwich around £5.5 million, and as you can see, he wanted a wage decrease. And now a lot of you guys are going to be wondering why I decided to do this, and I'm sure some of you might be frustrated why I did this as well, but I'm trying to keep this career mode as realistic as possible. And one thing we have seen of late is that in career mode the past 2 years is that players will now take wage cuts to join a new club. Now that does happen in real life sometimes. Sometimes you'll see it happen for a player who just wants first team football, or you know he wants a fresh start and he's out of contract in the summer, so wants to make sure he can still get a bag for the new year. But I didn't think it was realistic for Godfrey to ask for a wage decrease. He's still got 3 years, I believe, left in his deal at Norwich right now, and you know with the signing we agreed there with Godfrey, he wanted to go down by about £6,000 a week, and I just thought it's not much more money to give him, and I think it keeps it more realistic that way as well. So yeah, I decided to give him a 20 grand a week salary, which I believe is what he was on at Carrow Road anyway. He accepts it, and Ben Godfrey is our 3rd signing of the transfer window, and I really like his stats as well. You know, he's already got the leadership trait at 22 years old. That's really good on a young man there. He can play holding mid as well, and he's physically very good too. Now he might only be 6 foot, but he's got good strength. 84 is his key stat for strength. He's got pace as well. He can jump too, so I think that's a very good sign in there. I think he'll be our 4th choice centre back this year. We'll keep McKenna, Egan and O'Connell as part of our back trio in the centre back role, but he'll be on the bench, and a nice little sign in there, £5.5 million. And again, I'd say for a player that was part of a relegated team last year, wants to be playing in the top flight, I'm sure has ambitions of playing for his country one day, and of course the contract too. I think all in all, that's a very realistic signing, so very happy with that deal there. But also you did see as well, I did decide to put the Rips on the transfer list, so you know what's coming soon, with Ben Foster of course being our number 1 for this year, and also some more player training as Ollie Shaw is now up to a 74 rated left back. I did discuss it in a recent episode. I really wish you could train the acceleration because his sprint speed continues to go up, but he's still so slow off the mark. He's such a weird opposite. But also some very good news though, Oliver McBurney is now returning to training and is part of our first team training duty, so very happy with that. Of course, did his ACL back in January, haven't seen him since then, so now he's back in training. Hopefully he'll be okay for the first game of the new season. That's the hope anyway, as we rejected a bid there for Egan from Leicester City, and also a big game for James Ward-Prowse, who sadly we won't be getting this year. We also had a bid for Norrington Davis, a young left wing back, which of course we accepted, and an academy update as well, as we've now entered August. You can see the players currently in our youth squad. Once September comes around, I am going to send our free scouts out once again. And also Besiktas put in a bid for our Dutch goalkeeper Verips of £3.4 million. I decided to negotiate with the Turkish side as well, because Verips is one of those players who in this team we could actually get a bit more money for him than he's currently worth right now. So I asked for £4 million. As you can see, I said no, £3.4 million is all they would do, and I was like, come on, give us a little bit more cash please. And I think in the year we got 3.75, was it 3.75 or £3.8 million, I think it was, plus a 3% sell-on clause for the Dutch goalkeeper as well. So Verrips is going to go. Only played him, I think, twice last year in the cup games, and I think he might have had one Premier League game. Yeah, he did against Manchester United when Henderson was ineligible to play in that game against his parent club. And as you'll see, he does indeed go to Besiktas for £3.8 million plus the 3% sell-on clause. And also, we had a bid here for George Baldock, the Belgian side, KAA Ghent, wanting to sign him. But I said before, I like Baldock, not just because I used to play football against him, but also because he's a decent player, high stamina, and he works well in that right wing-back role. And as a backup for Bogle, I'd rather have him here. So with Verrips on his way to Turkey, I did decide to go back into our transfer list. And of course, with Verrips going, we were going to need another goalkeeper in our team. And whilst we can't get him back on loan, I really wanted Dean Henderson back here at Bramwell Lane, because I can see this move happening in real life. I can see Dean going to Sheffield United on a permanent deal for next season in real life, and also in this career mode as well. And the reason being is quite simple. De Gea, of course, has signed that long-term contract with Manchester United. I don't think Dean, at 23 years old, is going to want to sit on the bench at Old Trafford if he's got ambitions of playing for the national team. And the Sheffield United fans love him as well. And I thought last season, 8 clean sheets in 37 Premier League games. I thought he was quite good. Yes, had some shaky moments, but for the most part, I thought it was really, really decent for us for such a young goalkeeper, lest we forget. And we agreed a £12.5 million deal with Manchester United. And as you can see, he's on 51 grand a week at Old Trafford. He's still got several years on his contract there as well. And again, we see a player wants to take a very unrealistic wage decrease of 18 grand a week less than what he's getting paid right now. I didn't think that was realistic at all. So I put it back to 50 grand a week, which is what he's on at Old Trafford right now. Did decide to reduce the sign-on bonus to just £100,000, so that saves us a little bit of cash there, 200 grand saved in the transfer budget. But 50 grand a week, 5-year deal, crucial squad role, and Dean is back at Bramwell Lane. But this time, after 2 successful loan spells, he's coming back permanently. These past 2 years, he's been our number one, and Foster comes in. We knew Foster was going to be our backup this year. We gave him the crucial squad role last season, but Foster was not going to be our number one this year. Of course, we were going to try and get Dean back either on a loan deal or, as you can see, a permanent deal. And I'm buzzing that Dean is back, because he's going to be worth a lot of money one day with the current rate of progression. He's only 23 years old, lest we forget, but 77 rated. I think he grew 2 ratings last year, so in a few years' time, he's going to be worth a lot more than the £12.5 million we spent to bring him in. So he's our highest earner at the club. He's going to have to justify it, but I'm confident that Dean is going to do that. So Verrips does indeed leave. Obviously, now that Henderson is in and Foster is in, he'll be our third choice goalkeeper this year, so I'm fine letting him go. And we do get a little bit of cash for him after agreeing that £3.8 million sale with the Turkish side Besiktas, and that now takes our transfer budget up to around £7.5 to £8 million. So not much money remaining after the signings of Henderson and Godfrey, and of course our 2 free agents as well. This is how our team is going to look heading into season 2. The first 11 is the exact same as last year, so again, very little change to the team. We've got Foster, Godfrey, and also Pele coming onto our bench now with Vega in the reserves. But as you take a look at our side, the main concern is, well, what? Depth, definitely, of course. There's very little depth to this team, and there's very little quality and depth as well. Outside the first 11 and bench, really, it's for the most part just a bunch of kids. I mean, it's very, very, very thin, this side. There is a real lack of quality outside of the first team. And of course, don't forget, we'll have to give contracts to Fleck and Norwood before January to make sure they don't leave us on free transfers. There's genuine concern for season 2. I must admit, I discussed it in the last episode. I do believe that this year we're going to have a very, very tough season in the top flight, because the teams around us are going to be getting stronger. The teams around us are going to be getting better. They'll have bigger budgets than £17 million or whatever it was we started off with. So they're going to be improving. The teams around us are getting better. And for us, well, it's basically the same starting 11s we had as we had last year. So it's going to be a very tough season this year. I have no doubt about it whatsoever. And finishing in mid-table, that's a tough aim for us. I think we could do it, definitely after last year doing it, but it's still going to be quite tough, as this team has not improved that much from last year. But hey, at least, if nothing else, we are keeping it realistic. So first game of the new Premier League season, and what a test for our Blaze, taking on the champions Spurs here at Bramwell Lane, as Mauricio Pochettino's side would come on and take us here in Sheffield. So yeah, not an easy start for us, with a very little budget to work with in the summer, and now taking on the champions on the opening day. But The first chance fell to us though in the 3rd minute. We almost scored from a real mix-up as well. Ollie's short down left-hand side, crossing into the middle. Lloris, really shaky moment there for the experienced French goalkeeper. Made a real hash of that clearance, and if there was someone in the 6-yard area, that would have been 1-0. But we stayed in attack mode right from the 1st minute. It was our wing-backs getting involved right from the get-go. Bogle storms down the right, plays into the middle, and who's there waiting to receive the pass? It's John Fleck, last year's unsung hero, and what a start for Sheffield United. Out of contract in the summer, but you know this guy's going to get a new deal around November, December time. Our Scottish midfielder takes his time, takes a touch, and bends it past Lloris to make it 1-0. Sheffield United 1, champion Spurs 0. What a start at Bramall Lane for the Blades. But after that goal, Spurs woke up. Ali had the only chance they had in the first half, putting that shot into the side netting, and in the second half, directly after the restart, they showed their pedigree. Heung-min Son, who as you guys know is my arch nemesis, got Spurs back on level terms, and honestly, I'm going to say this right now, I don't think there's been a game against Spurs in my last, 5-6 games against Tottenham Hotspur where this guy has not scored a goal. Heung-min Son literally always scores against me, makes it 1-1, puts the visitors back on level terms, and in the 66th minute, a good chance for him to go 2-1 up and get in front for the first time, and Ndombele turns his man, finds a bit of room, and fires it past Dean. So in 21 minutes in the second half, the comeback and the turnaround was complete. First Ali, now Ndombele, and the champions really showed why they were champions last year. 2-1, they really turned up in the second half, and they could have made it 3-1 later on as well, had it not been for a good save by Henderson denying Dele Alli here, as we were still down by 1. But don't be fooled by the scoreline. Even though it was only a 1-goal deficit, there was no real danger of Spurs dropping points in this game once they took the lead. They were the far superior side from the second half. You know, we started the game off so well, but we sort of just got showed up in the second half, really, as a side that don't have the quality to compete with these sort of teams just yet. In stoppage time, O'Connell upends Kane from behind, definite spot kick, no complaints whatsoever from me on the sidelines, clear penalty there. It was more of a frustration foul from me, really hammering down circle, trying to win the ball back in stoppage time. Kane stands up from 12 yards and gets a goal on the opening day as well. Sends Dean the wrong way. Last year was runner-up in the Golden Boot race. He'd love to win it this year. And Spurs, the champions, come to Bramall Lane and begin their title defence year with a victory. They had to come from behind to get it, but they thoroughly deserved it. And in the second half, man, they really showed their champions' pedigree. I just could not stop them at all. They were absolutely dominant. So a loss on the opening day for Sheffield United, just like last season. And as I mentioned before, it's going to be another tough season at Bramall Lane for our Blades. So if you're expecting us to push for a Champions League place this year, think again. It's going to be another really challenging year. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. A big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the season opener in this episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you, and don't forget 1,000 likes and I'll upload another episode of Career Mode later on today. So there's a challenge, 1,000 likes, and hopefully I'll see you for the next episode later on today.